I saw it and I was like, okay, another train. I mean, it looks good, but like, how many trains do I really need? Come on now. The Tom Cardo's train got roofs. It's got roofs to them. I mean, it's hard to top that. When you into levels, it's hard to top that. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're you know, not base level, but the level right above it has has them all broken into pieces with different types of roofs too.
Okay. I like a good train dungeon.
They even have a jungle version of it.
Damn. Yeah, I like a good train. I like a good train dungeon more than I like a dungeon inside a monster. I like a good train dungeon. But I mean, I do like a good dungeon and a monster. I might have to go back on my word. Start running some more dungeons inside monsters.
Yeah, you said you'll never run a D&D dungeon inside monsters.
Yeah, this is Pathfinder, it's totally different.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So this is our last vodcast ... for a while. Our next one will be, jeez, hold on. All right. Let's see, today's the 28th, and then the 4th I have to go to the theater to see Shrek the Musical in support of my local arts program. Oh yeah, no. So that's it. Yeah, we won't be meeting up again for a vodcast until Friday the 2nd, which will be during DirkCon 2025, which is going to be a online convention held on our Discord server where everybody gets together to play TTRPGs, video games, collectible card games, virtual tabletop and board games, tabletop simulator, Jackbox games. Just 3 days, 2.5 days of gaming with our community, having fun, and hopefully trying out games that we've never made time for before, which would be kind of fun. So I'm actually getting a little list together of some of the games. There's apparently some kind of game where it's like Redwall, but it's like you don't even like roll dice, you just talk about the story. I mean, I'll give it a shot. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, so since we're not going to be meeting up until then, because we'll be out of the country, I mean, obviously you could have a vodcast without me. I mean, that's fine. I've done it without you before. I mean, we have an open relationship when it comes to this vodcast situation. So I mean, I respect you, and I know that, you know, what we have is real, Dom, and that, you know, like, even if you were running around with another vodcaster, I think in the end, you know what you and I share is like stronger than anything that you could find with someone else. You know what I'm saying?
I've never looked for other people.
Oh, dang. In my defense, I think the 2 times that I had guest people, you were like, just go for it. It's good. Just go for it. But
yeah.
But
I'm just messing with
the whole time though. I was holding up a picture of you in front of their picture on the screen. You know what I'm saying? All right. So anyways, we're going to talk today about we're going to do a content creator. It's not a dialing in. It's a classic content creator move. We're going to comment on a better content creator's content. So Matt Colville hasn't, as far as I know, put out a video in a while, and he did put out a video today, and it was 35 minutes of old man Colville ranting and raving and generally being amazing. He's just amazing to listen to, talking about GMing for your GM, right? And I turned to my kid, because I was driving my kid to school. My kid is also a GM, and I said, I'll save you, because it took him 10 minutes to get started. I was like, I'll save you 25 minutes, kid, because you're probably going to be on the bus before he gets to the point. You should GM for your GM. And if you're a GM that wants to be a player and none of your players should play for you, you should go find a group to join as a player so you can get that experience that you're looking for. On that account, I was wrong. Matt Colville believes in the power of friendship and friend groups and friend stuff, I guess. And he was not content to tell you, if you really want to be a player, go find a different group to be a player with. He went full Catholic guilt, and he said, you little shits, you listen to me right now. If your GM tells you that he wants to be a player, one of you little shitheads better step up, and you better run a goddamn game for that person, or I'm gonna haunt you from the grave. And I was like, okay, that's yeah, wow. And he's like, and don't come at me and say that I'm bullying you, and don't tell me that you don't need to hear this, because you do. And I was like, wow, okay, this is not the direction I thought this video was gonna go. Yes, the video is called The Forever GM, and it did come out last night / this morning, and it's 35 minutes. It's actually very, very good. It's a very refreshing video. And it took a take that I didn't think he was going to go full Catholic guilt on these motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. But I thought about it. I thought about it real hard. And God, I hate to say this out loud. How old am I now? Oh my God. In the 32, Jesus Christ. In the 32 years that I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPGs, one constant has been true. I have never been in a group where we didn't have other people in the group besides me at least trying to run games, wanting to run games, trying to run games, trying to give it a shot. And I think it would be a terrible experience to be a part of a group where you want to be a player and no one will give you that opportunity. And it is cold and heartless of me to say, just find another group of people. It's the golden age of gaming. Go online, you'll find a group in 5 minutes. It's fine. Yeah. You don't want that group. You want your group. You want your group. You want your group to roll. And I didn't think about that because I've always had that. You know what I'm saying? And so it really was a wake-up call for me that yeah, there are people out there who are these forever GMs that my solution is not appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, they could go find another group. They don't want another group. They want that group, and they want to be a player in that group. And that is the important thing that he discussed in the video that kind of went over my head until I listened to the whole video. Yeah. So what's your take on it, Dom? Like, am I wrong? Like, I think I'm wrong. Am I wrong to say, like, it's simple, guys? You just go on to just playing games. You sign up for a game. Now you're a player in a game. Like, is there something important about being able to be a player in your group? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. There's importance there of wanting to be a player in your friend, like, want to be a player in your D&D tabletop RPG friend group. You want to, you've been sitting there GMing for them and seeing all the fun moments. Corey, what are you doing? Seeing all the fun things you could do with them, having those moments and stuff like that. And yes, you want to be on that side at sometimes. You want to see them, you want to have those moments where, like, when you're, always players is GMing and then knows the story in the background and is waiting for that moment for, like, them to, it's the moment when the big reveal happens. You're like, oh snap! As a player, you want those moments and you want to have that shared. You want to have that shared experience with your friend group. And so it's valid. I think it's definitely something you warranted. And the problem is that some people just don't want to GM, and I guess the question is how do you get and why, and then if you do have some friends that are on the fence, like, okay, how do you encourage them to get them to actually go ahead and do it so that you get that chance? And there's many different ways. It really depends on person to person, but I think it is important that, GMs that are forever GMs get a chance to play with the friend group that that's there.
So I pulled up this meme, this meme that has always spoken to me as a GM. Because you said, like, you as a GM, you set up those moments, you get to see those moments play out, but you knew those moments were coming, right? Like, you created an incredible memory, an incredible experience for four to six other people. But for you, that moment is the satisfaction of giving that moment to other people, but you yourself never got it. And, like, in that one Avengers movie, they find Red Skull, and Red Skull says, I guide others to a treasure I cannot possess, right? He's, because he tried to get the Infinity Stone and he failed, and so now he's stuck wearing a robe and a hood, and he has to help other people find it, blah blah blah. And like I hear that a lot from dungeon masters and game masters and storytellers and stuff, that it would be so cool if I could be a player in this game, right? Like, because it is so cool. It's like the coolest. Like I'm working so hard to make this so cool, and I'm never going to get that same experience, right, as the players are going to get. So that said, right, Caden Expos, I feel like this creeps into DM NPCs. I'm not 100%. I think I follow you. This feeling unfulfilled can lead to DM NPCs, but I feel like Caden X is throwing DM NPCs out there as a buzzword that we have already addressed many times. DM NPCs aren't bad, so like I don't really see
the things though. You're never gonna get that, even if you have a DM NPC or GM NPC. It's not gonna be the same feeling as being a player, because you still know what's, like, as a GM, you still know what's coming.
Exactly, but there are examples of toxic DM NPCs, bad DM NPCs, campaign ruining DM NPCs, and I do feel that bad DM NPCs are a symptom of a DM that is not given a chance to be a player. I do feel that there is a direct correlation there. I don't have data. But that's how I feel. And hey, nowadays that's all that matters, right? Is how you feel, and if you're charismatic when you feel that way, you don't need science anymore. But yeah, like I get that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely get that. I am running, like, I only want to run games that I think are cool. So obviously I wish I could play in the games that I'm running, because I only picked out games that I was interested in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't look at the 100,000 adventures that I could run that are already made, and then the ones I could make up myself and say, I'm gonna pick one I hate. Like, let me pick one that's terrible. Like, the one that I'm not interested in at all. That's the one. There it is. No, you always want to run the games that you would love to play as a player. You know what I mean? This is a good one for me, is Curse of Strahd. Right? I've been playing 5e since the beta testing for 5e, when it was still called D&D Next, right? I've been there since the very beginning, and Curse of Strahd came out, and I just put on the blinders. I didn't want to hear anything about it. It was a hard life trying not to get Curse of Strahd spoiled. I was getting people kicked out of Discord servers because they were spoiling Curse of Strahd. And I was mad about it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I was kicking people off our server if they were spoiling Curse of Strahd. I did not want a single spoiler, because I was convinced that someday I would get to play Curse of Strahd. Someday I would get to play Curse of Strahd. And then I finally got to play Curse of Strahd, and the campaign fell apart. And it was a tragic, horrible reason. And I was like, I'm not going to try again. You know what I mean? I'm not going to try again. I'm going to go ahead and run it, because I love the campaign that much that if I can't play it, I'm going to try to run it. And so yeah, like you run the games that you like. You run the games that you want to play. Yeah. So I don't know.
Like, I would love to be a player in a Strength of Thousands game.
Right? Yeah, which is why you ran a Strength of Thousands game, right? Because you wanted to make the game so good that if you were playing in it, your mind would have been blown, your socks would have been knocked off. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want to do. That's what a good DM does. If the DM is showing up and they're like, they just punch in their card for work or whatever, if you're like a paid DM and you're running these Roll20 adventures like raw by the book because you're trying to make a paycheck, like, I feel for you. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel for you, because you should be running a game that you're excited about, that you care about, that you love, that if given the chance, you would totally be a player in that game. Yeah. Let's see. Oh man, King says, in a previous game I was in a while ago, there was an NPC that had a full PC character sheet piloted by the DM, and it just felt overall weird, but I understood he wanted to play too. And
that's like the symptom of unfulfilled.
That's a DM
unfulfilled, and is using this opportunity to try and fill that hole, but it's never going to get filled, even if he even if you have a GM,
and not the same
that
way.
hole is never going to get
I
filled.
mean, yeah. To take Dom's filthy hole analogy even further, right? When you've got a DM NPC in your own campaign, you're just masturbating. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you got to have a real experience as a player, And if you want that real experience with your actual group, with your players, this is going to come as a huge shock to everybody. You have to communicate about it. You have to put it out there. You have to say, guys, I'm getting a little burned out. I'd like to take a few weeks off. Is anybody willing to run a mini series or a one shot? What? Or hey, this campaign's getting ready to wrap up, and I know you guys love the games that I run and the stuff that I do, but like my life's gotten real busy. I'm tired, and I'd like to just be a player for once. Is there anybody that's willing to step up and run anything at all? And here's the thing that I really liked about his video. It was, you've got to meet them halfway. You can't just say, listen, I ran you through Curse of Strahd for the last 3 years. You owe me. You have to run this campaign for me now. No. You have to be willing to let the people that are going to run next run the games that they're passionate about, that they're excited about. And if that means they're going to run you through Tales of Equestria, Friendship is Magic, Pony Finder Edition, then I guess that's what you get. But hey, you get to be a player in the same
your friend group.
Within your friend group. And honestly, you're pretty lucky because Pony Finder is pretty fucking sick. Okay, so yeah,
and hopefully, since
pretty lucky.
I mean, you guys are friends in the first place, and I'm assuming you guys have been playing TTRPGs for a while. Most likely, they're gonna pick something that probably, you've had some inkling of being interested in.
If anybody's you guys a Pony Finder game, just hit me up on DMs. Keep going. No, yeah, you're right. Like, that is the idea, right? Is that you want this, but you have to be flexible. You have to be willing to meet them. Yeah. Oh, wait. The other thing is you can't be an asshole about it, right? There's a lot of GMs, and I'm one of them, okay? There's a lot of GMs who can't be a player very well, okay? They just can't be a player very well. They become a player and they immediately realize, like, I only get to take one turn? What? Like, I only get one turn? Like, that's it? Like, I have to share the spotlight with everybody? I don't know everything that's going on? I can't make all the narratives, the big narrative decisions? Like, this is kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about this. Wait, you made a rules call that I don't agree with and I have to live with it because you're the GM now? I don't know how I feel about that either. Like, you picked you're doing My Little Pony Cyberpunk? I don't really like that. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that you're just like, hey, wait a minute, like this isn't what I wanted. And I think the problem is there's a lot of GMs that think they want to be players that as soon as they're players, they're like, I'm ready to go back to DMing. And that's important. That's how you reset the burnout meter. Reset the burnout meter. Nothing makes me want to GM more than being a player. Like, nothing makes me want to sit down on the right side of the screen more than being a player. Like, because I'm like, all right, I remember now. I remember what it's like, and I want to make sure that when they're on this side of the screen, they're having a good time, and I'm ready to get back to work. Like, almost always, when I sit down as a player, I'm like ready to go back to being a GM right away. So, like, if you're worried that the GM is going to be like, yeah, could you GM for a while, and then you're going to be stuck GMing for the rest of your life? Probably not. The GM is probably going to be like, this was a great mini-series. Give me my chair back. I am ready to get back to work. But maybe...
who knows? Maybe it might become like, oh man, I really like doing this. So maybe, maybe I do want to do a full campaign.
Exactly. And the thing is, the really cool thing is, even if you don't change systems, right? Even if it's like you're just playing Pathfinder 2 or you're just playing 5e, no one's going to run it the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you right now that a CRASHDOM game is a different flavor game than a Dom Odyssey game, than a Red Kobold gaming game, than an Orpheus game, than a Carsafona game. I could go on and on and on. There are so many incredibly talented storytellers in our community, and not a single one of them runs a game in the same way, even in the same system. In the same system. So you are gonna get like these different experiences, and you need to know, and he covered this in his video, you need to know with an open mind that when you finally as a GM get someone to GM for you, you are not GMing yourself. You are not getting that treasure that the Red Skull is after. You are getting the treasure they are offering you, the treasure they're able to give you. And the other thing is, maybe no one else in your group has ever GM'd before, and they're nervous as hell to do it because you are very good at GMing, and they don't want to look bad trying to fill your shoes. So you need to become a mentor. You need to become a coach. You need to become encouraging. And no matter how bad they do, you need to be there and support them and build them up, or they ain't nobody going to run a game for you. You know? Yeah. Let's see.
Also, and also make sure that, you know, even as a player and another, say you're in a friend group and you're a player in that friend group, always playing, and then one of the players decides to GM, and you're a player inside that your friends who's now new, you know, a new GMing. You got to. That's also, remember, your forever GM is not the one GMing you right now. So, you have to also be encouraging and open and feel like it's okay to let them, you know, make mistakes and you know, help them out. You know, like be like, you know, when you see the breadcrumb, go for it. Because, you know, it may not be as an enticing breadcrumb as your forever GM might do, but, you know, at this point, you know what they're trying to do. So, and you play with them for a while, so try it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to come out here and say, like, you know, don't be scared, it's easy, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it is easy. I don't think DMing is easy at all. I know that Colville made a million view, like, 5 million, 50 million view series about GMing, and it's fantastic. I've listened to it, I've watched it, it's fantastic. I've listened to it a couple of times. It's so good. It is empowering, but even it doesn't say it's easy. It just says you can do it, right? There's a difference between it's easy and you can do it. So like, I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, run a game for your group because it's so easy. It's not easy. And not everybody's good at it, and not everybody should be doing it. But if your GM says, guys, I'd like to be a player for once, one of you should, one of you should step up, even if it is to run a 1-shot or a 2-shot. You don't have to run a 1 to 20 campaign. You just got to give them that chance to recharge, to like take a breath. Maybe they need to catch up on their prep. Maybe they just need to step away for a little bit and like just be a player. Like, it's so much better to like listen and make that opportunity available than to have your GM burn out, you know? Yeah. Or get desperate and make their own player character in the party. And try to actually be a player at the same time as they're being a GM. So yeah, but like, again, I don't think it's easy at all, and I think that nowadays, with the popularity of actual plays of series, like Critical Role and you know, all those other ones, that there is like, there's pressure, right? There's a lot of pressure. There's pressure at everything, right? I'm playing Monster Hunter, and it's taking me 13 minutes to kill a monster, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, you know, world record speed holder beat this monster in 47 seconds, and it's like, okay, I'm not that person. I'm just a guy, I'm tired, I'm trying to beat this monster, shut up, you know what I mean? But like, it's very easy whenever you go to do anything, especially in this modern era of information and media, right, to look around and be like, everyone's better than me, I'm the worst. And it's like, so what? Like, even if you are the worst, you're better than everyone else who's not even trying. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you are there putting in the work, trying to do it. That makes you better than the people that are too afraid to do it, or too lazy to do it, or too selfish to do it. So like, don't look too far away, right? Look at your group of friends, look at the game that you're going to run for them. And the same thing goes for, you know, like Dom said, for the players in the game. the DM is getting a chance to play, be supportive of that. This person is stepping up to DM, be supportive of that. Don't be an asshole that's like, well, I wish so-and-so was still DMing because they don't do it like this. And definitely don't turn to the, don't as a player, turn to the other DM and be like, do you hear this? Like, is this how you would do it? Like, no.
Oh, no. Don't do that.
When I'm in a game with Dom, none of Dom's players turn to me and say, "What, Crash? Can you believe this?" Like, because they know that shit won't fly. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, also because Dom probably make a lot better calls than I do. But like, they don't. Yeah, you don't turn and say, "Hey, other DM, like, you know, like, what are we gonna do about this?" That's not how it is. Like, you have to be supportive of the entire process. So communication, and then remembering that you're a part of a group. It's a social structure. It's a social, construct.
And
yeah.
On the other side of that, like it's okay if you're a forever GM and you see your player might be struggling with a rule, and you know the rule, and so you give him some time to try and figure it out. But if it's starting to delay the game, and he's feeling like you can kind of tell that they're gonna have to, we might have to pause the game to try and figure out the rule. It's okay to be like, okay, well, it's usually like this. And then if they want to continue, and then at that point you gave the information out, and it's up to them to make a decision on how they want to call it. And then if they make a call, that's okay. They made the call, and you move forward. Like it's fine to be helpful, especially if they're struggling, and then also to help the game keep moving forward. Because sometimes if you're nervous and you're trying to do this for the first time, and you can't remember a simple rule that you've always experienced, but you just can't remember in this time because you're nervous. Still being nervous and racking your brain about it makes you more nervous, which makes you forget more stuff, which might make somebody spiral who's new at this. So being there, just being in the spirit of being supportive, answering that question or providing that bit of information that you're more familiar with is enough to help to give them that, okay, all right, yeah, that's right, I remember that now, let's move forward.
Right, and that goes back to be prepared to be a coach. You know what I mean? Like, if that new GM turns to old GM and says, "That's right, isn't it?" Like, yeah, don't take advantage. Don't take this opportunity to be like a pro gamer. Like, I made this incredible build I've been sitting on for the last 3 years that does 350 damage per round starting at level 3. I can't wait to fuck you up, bro. Like, you don't want to bring that energy if you finally get a chance to have someone in your group GM. Now, I say have someone in your group GM. I also said that if you want to be a player, there's a unlimited amount of games that you could go find and join. And if you want to join a game where you could show off your 350 damage per round build that comes online at level 3, I guarantee you there is a game specifically for you out there that you can join. But you specifically in this example only want to run with your group, and so then you need to be supportive of the other people in the group. You have not earned the right to force someone else in your group to run the dream campaign for you, and you definitely don't want to put any kind of pressure like that on anybody in your group. But yeah, it's a complicated topic, you know what I mean? Because yeah, nowadays I can definitely see people being afraid to GM for the first time. I could definitely see people being nervous about GMing for their GM. I could definitely see GMs so desperate to finally have a chance to play, kind of botching the opportunity, like fumbling it hard by making an OP character that they, kind of like just beats down the new GM, or there's just a disconnect between what the GM was expecting after all this time and then what they actually got, because sometimes you spend a lot of time fantasizing about this thing and then you get it and it's not at all what you thought you were going to get, right? So yeah, it is a pretty complicated topic. All right, let's see. I don't think DM NPC should be made with the idea of I wish I was a player. That's just a bad NPC.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know in my heart of hearts, I'll never find a Transformers TTRPG group. So the closest thing I can do to play it is to run it. See, I don't know if that's the best reason to run a game, is what I'm worried about. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's tricky. That's really tricky.
I mean, Honestly, I mean, I can understand that. Like,
Yeah.
like if you want to try out this system,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
I mean, like with Red, he liked Lancer, and I'm pretty sure he wanted to play. He played Lancer, but he decided, okay, I'm gonna run it because and when he put it out to run it, there was a bunch of people who jumped in who wanted to play, and then hopefully that's the catalyst to make it so that more people will, maybe somebody else will want to run it, so that they can they can become a player. Like I wanted to play in Cyberpunk. I always wanted to play it, be a Cyberpunk player. I have never got a chance to play it, but I ran it, and lucky enough, Carsafona played in one of the one shots, played in the campaign, and then he decided to run a one shot, and I finally got a chance to be a player. So I can understand that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm already interested in the system, regardless.
Right.
Whether as a player or a GM, I'm interested in the system. And so I want to be the catalyst to get people interested in it. So it's a lot easier to get somebody interested in the system being a GM and running it for a group of people, All
right. I'm looking up Transformers on Start Playing Games, and I have to agree that there are only 9 Transformers games in the world right now, according to Start Playing Games. And Start Playing Games has this really skewed ass rating system where fucking everybody's got 5 stars, so it feels really hard to know if you're joining a good game or not. And a lot of them, of these 9 games, it says 3 needed to start, 1 needed to start, 2 needed to start, 2 needed to start, 2 needed to start, 2 needed to start. So these aren't even started yet. This one says 5 seats left. So I can't imagine. 8. They're planning to fill 8 seats at this table. 8 seats. So yeah, I guess I kind of understand now, Caden X, why you feel like you have to run it, because the well is pretty dry out there. It's pretty dry out there. Oh my god. That's terrible. Man. Okay. Is that the same thing that happened when you went looking for Cyberpunk? Let me see. It's got to be more for Cyberpunk, right?
I mean, it's not. It wasn't that.
Or was this like you wanted a friends group thing, like the scenario that we're
No,
in?
no. I've gone and start playing games looking for Cyberpunk games. I just haven't been able to find one that is either running something. Also, you want to be safe.
Is it the vibes? Okay.
Yeah, you want to have good vibes when you're looking at it, and you want to like, okay, is somebody running one of the pre-made stuff? So at least I know what's going on, and I can test the waters out on start playing games by running into something. And many of them are like what'd you call it, West Marches.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, I don't necessarily want to join a West March type of thing, because it's a little too involved, and sometimes it's also played by post, and also a lot of it is on Fantasy Ground and
post. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, see, this is the thing. I feel so out of touch. You know what I'm saying? Because like I have this really great community, right? That is our Discord server, and like there are so many games on our server that I feel like I've eaten too much food at a buffet. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I see games posted, and I'm like, oof, not another incredible game. Oh my god. And it's just like, but like, if I was looking for a particular game and I couldn't find it, I think I would be in the same situation. You know what I mean? I'd be in the same. Here's a good example. Here's a great example. I have always wanted to play. Oh man, I can't even remember the name of it now, because I'm like I'm on the spot right now. Hold on. No, go for it. I'll jump in.
So yeah, I like wanting to run Vampire the Masquerade. I would not go on Start Playing Games looking for a random Vampire the Masquerade game. I would not.
No.
I would want to do that. My first time playing Vampire the Masquerade, I wanted with a friend group that I know.
Is that because you're afraid of goths, or afraid of theater kids, or afraid of the most dangerous Pokemon, the goth theater kid?
I mean, because I know
that's the most that's a dangerous Pokemon right there.
I mean, yes, but also I rather like for that, because the subject matter in that campaign can get very personal or weird or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like put myself in a situation where, man, this is really awkward, and I'm gonna have to like, what, this is not like, I'm out. Especially for my first, and I don't want that experience to sour my first time playing Vampire.
No, I get that. Yeah. there are definitely games that like I've really wanted to play, but like I feel like I'd be better off just running it myself. But like now I feel bad. Like to see Canon X put that out there into the universe, that he knows in his heart of hearts he'll never find a Transformers group. And then I'm like, it can't be that bad. And then I go and I look it up and it's that bad, and I'm just like, dang, dude. That's
I know
rough.
Orf tried to run the Marvel one.
Transformers, you gotta have G.I. Joes in there too. That's terrible.
I know Orf was struggling to get a Marvel's game going. The Marvel RPG. Yep.
Man. Let's see. Then Cryptic Muffin admits domestic violence. That's rough. And then let's see. Cryptic Muffin says I had 100% run a Cyberpunk game. You gotta be. We'll see. We'll see. You know what? You won't. All right. Let's see. Then Remy says, "Real talk. This is why I ran the Pathfinder 2 beginner box. I hadn't played it before, but I wanted to try it, so I ran it, and the rest is history." That is true. You did infect my community with the virus of Pathfinder 2E Revised, and I don't think I'll ever forgive you for it. But here we are. I hope you're happy with what you got.
I think he is.
So I had an exchange today. So I posted about DirtCon, and we're looking for people for DirtCon and all that. And you may remember Sven. Do you remember Sven? He played Jert in.
Yeah.
Red Hand Doom.
Guy with the voice.
The voice. The voice that's nearly stole my wife. Yeah, that voice. But fortunately, he was already engaged. So he tried Pathfinder. He came from Pathfinder. And then he went to Pathfinder 2, and then he came to 5e from Pathfinder. And he saw that we were switching over to Pathfinder, and he was like, firm handshake, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, and that was that. Like, he went off, and he did his own thing. And, we were catching up, and he was talking about the different games that he's been playing, and a lot of, like, story focused games like Fates and stuff like that. And, I said, like, yeah, I think about your feelings about Pathfinder and your warnings to me about Pathfinder pretty much at least once a week. And I was like, I've been playing it for over 2 years now. I played a 1 to 10 campaign as a player. I played a 1 to 10-ish, 1 to 8-ish game that I ended up leaving. I ran 2 1 to 11 games. I'm running an 11 to 20 game. I'm running a homebrew 1 to 20 game, and then I'm running the Kingmaker. And all of that, I think I know how I feel about Pathfinder 2e Revised. It's okay. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I just think it's okay. Like, I don't know. It hasn't really. It's not my game. Like, it's not my game. Like, it's apparent to me every time I run it and every time I play it that it's okay, but it's definitely not my game. Yeah. So I could see if I knew in my heart, like Caden X feels about Transformers. Like, if I had a game that I felt that strongly about, I'd have to run it. Yeah, I get that.
I think you did. Wasn't that Dragonbane? Yeah. I think I could have probably gotten someone else to run Dragonbane. I probably could have convinced somebody to run Dragonbane. Yeah. There were. I was infected a little bit.
I think Scottrick wants to run some Dragonbane. He was talking about running something similar to it, or with those similar rules. I know that Falcon wanted to run it, and it was doing a lot of content for it. I don't know if he ever did. I don't know if he ever got like the momentum going. I know things got real busy over in his Discord server, with all the revised D&D stuff and whatnot. But yeah, I think even then, I don't know if Dragonbane is my system either. I think it's more my system than Pathfinder or D&D for sure. Yeah. But yeah. But that was the thing. Yeah, but that was because Red was like we need to do more games besides D&D and Pathfinder. And he was starting to just do games all the time, like all kinds of games.
Yeah.
And then I was like, dang, that's pretty cool. And then Darby was just throwing out games. And I was like, that one has the word dragon in it. That's the one I'm going to do. And then I was like reading about it. And I was like, this sounds pretty dope. All right, I'll do it. And sometimes it's that easy to just try a new game and run a new game for your group. Okay.
Honestly, I mean, that's also like a good thing for like if you're a forever GM and a player wants to try and playing. If that player is interested in another like system, that's a perfect time for them, because then everybody's on the same playing field there, because everybody's learning. You know?
Yeah.
That's a good opportunity for somebody to, and then maybe that person becomes the forever GM for that system. Who knows? But and hopefully no one becomes forever. You know?
Yeah, and like, to the real forever GMs out there, the GMs that like, this is your craft, this is your trade, like you don't want to be a player, I'm right there with you. Okay, I think I want to be a player, and then I am a player, and it's okay, and it's okay. But like, I never feel as alive or as engaged with anything as I do when I am running a game. Like, for me, it is the thing in this world.
More stimulating.
It is the thing in this world that just makes me the most happy is running games for people. I really enjoy running games for people. Even when I worked for Board Game Company doing like demos at like conventions, like I enjoyed watching people play games and learn games and get joy from games way more than I actually enjoyed playing the games. Yeah, I don't know why that is, but I think that is the mindset of a real forever GM, and I think that even forever GMs benefit from getting a break. And I think that even if your GM hasn't told you that they want someone to run a game, maybe you should bring it up. Maybe you should be like, hey man, if you ever need a break, if you ever want to like have a couple weeks to catch up on prep, or just like play Monster Hunter, or not have to worry about running a game, like I'm willing to run something for a couple weeks if you need me to step away and see what they say. Maybe they say no, that's fine. But maybe 3 weeks later they say, hey, remember 3 weeks ago? Now that this story arc is over, do you think you'd be okay with doing that? Like, because I didn't realize how tired I was until after we got done with the story arc, and like I could definitely use a couple weeks to just kind of not run a game. That's huge. That's huge. My kid wanted their friends to play tabletop, and they went to them with the books like Moses down from the mountain with the stone tablets or whatever.
Tablets.
Yeah, and they were like, this is the Dungeons and the Dragons that my father gave to me, and I will give to you. And then, son of a bitch, if within like a year, one or two of those kids weren't also lining up to run games for the rest of the group. Like it happens, guys. It happens. So, yeah. Let's see. Well,
I mean, honestly, that's kind of how it happened for me, because it was somebody I didn't know anything about. I knew about it, but I never actually played it before. And then somebody at work was like, "Hey, I like Dungeons and Dragons. Let's try and do an office game." Oh man, Dungeons and Dragons! I heard of that before. Let me try it. Mm-hmm. And then I tried it. Was a player for 3 sessions. I was like, man, this is awesome. And then it failed, and then we couldn't get another group. I was like, man, I want to play this again. Well, you know what? I guess I could try and GM.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I started. Like, as a child before the internet existed, because I'm ancient and I am the land. I went to buy D20 to keep track of my health while I was playing Magic. And there were books next to the dice, and I was like, why are these books here next to my Magic the Gathering health counting dice? And the guy's like, that's Dungeons and Dragons. And like, he's like filling me in, and I'm like, you mean like Hero Quest? And the guy's like, I see that you're a man of refined taste there, 12-year-old boy. Yes, it's like Hero Quest, but for big boys and grown-ups. And I'm like, I'll take every book you have, sir. I have money. I'm a babysitter. And I bought every fucking book. Not really, that's the problem. I bought the player's handbook, and I went home and I just tried to read it, and then I tried to run it for my friends. I just told my friends, like, we're gonna play this game. and it's awesome. And I had no idea what I was doing, and it was a disaster. And they had no idea that I didn't know what I was doing, so they had a really good time. And then I heard I was talking about it to other Magic the Gathering kids at my middle school, and somebody said that they had access to the monster manual, and I was like, a manual full of monsters? Tell me more. And they said, I will steal the monster manual from my older brother, and I will give it to you if you give me that Nightmare Magic the Gathering card, which please don't look up how much a first edition Nightmare from Magic the Gathering costs, because I did not do well in that trade for that kid's brother's monster manual, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. So then I had the monster manual and the player's handbook, and really, if you know my DMing style, you know that I never got the DM's guide. And I just made it all up. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And within like a month of me running it, this kid Alex in the group, he wanted to run it. And then he was running a few adventures, and it's just an organic experience, guys. Like, if you've got a group of players, I guarantee one of them has to be a candidate to run you through at least a one shot, maybe something more. You just got to communicate about it. You just got to put it out there. But what if no one will run in your group and you still really want to be a player? That's where #NotSponsored Start Playing Games comes in, or just talking to people, right? I have been approached, this sounds very sexual, I've been approached by individuals, and they say, yeah, so my D&D group and I, we noticed you from across the bar, and we like your vibes. Have you ever thought about running for a group? Like a group that already knows each other? And it's like, oh, this conversation again. And it's like, I've thought about it, and they're like, do you do group rates? And it's like, I want it, I'll charge what I normally charge for your group. And it's like, all right, so how do we do this? So yeah, you can just go get a DM to DM for you and your friends, and then you can all be players and no one has to be the DM. That's a thing that can happen too.
Yeah, I guess what you could do is, as a group, go and start playing games, find a game with nobody, and they all join it.
Hey, listen, they need 5 people to play Transformers. Just go play Transformers right now. There it is. 5 people. One of you could be a G.I. Joe. You're good. Like, it's that easy, guys. No one has to be the GM. No one. Just go buy one. It's that simple. Don't tell me you can't afford to pay for a game either, because I know you bought yourself a cheeseburger this week, and in this world, a cheeseburger is like $25. So don't tell me you can't afford to get it.
It is.
Yeah, don't tell me you. I saw you eat those $3 M&Ms. Okay, don't tell me you can't afford to pay for a DM for a one shot. Don't even try. Don't even tell me that. So yeah, like that's a solution too. If you want to be a GM with your players, this is the ideal. Because none of you have to be the GM anymore. And if the GM does a bad job, you can all be mad at the GM together.
Oh, no. Well, our GM never does it like this.
Yeah, right?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Poor guy on Start Playing. He just gets trampled.
Like, you deliberately hire, like, the worst-rated person for your group so that not only do you get to be a player with your group, but now they think you're an awesome DM.
Oh no. Don't do that.
Be like, I see you that you have a 3-star review on Start Playing Games, which is almost impossible. You must be a very interesting dungeon master. Well, I like to run some problematic content. I like to do things my own way. You're hired. Tell your group, you're like, I found this amazing DM. It's really good. 3 out of 3 stars for sure. Let's go. After the session, they're like, wow, man, I had no idea you were such a good DM. That guy was terrible, and he's a paid DM. That's incredible. Yep. See, we're just handing out good advice tonight. Just handing out good advice.
Yep.
Oh, man. Let's see. I also understood with shopping around Transformers to friends here and elsewhere, it's really hard to get over the 80s camp and Michael Bay tinge of Transformers. so it isn't immediately attractive as high fantasy. It's like if I told you I'm running a Scooby-Doo game and the reference material, was the original run of Scooby-Doo. I mean, is there a bad Scooby-Doo? I guess Velma's a bad Scooby-Doo. Is there a bad Scooby-Doo though?
I don't know. If there is, I didn't watch it.
All right, well, I'm going to put it out there. I think the best Scooby-Doo was the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. I think that was the best. And that series got canceled. But the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, it had Vincent Van Gogh in it. It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably the best Scooby-Doo. So
I still enjoy the first Scooby-Doo movie.
It was definitely a movie that happened. It's okay.
With the zombie musical part, right?
Oh wait, do you mean the first cartoon movie or the live action movie?
Yeah, cartoon. Yeah, cartoon. Cartoon.
Yeah, no, Zombie Island. That was really good. Yeah, that was really good.
Exactly.
I thought you were referencing the James Gunn live action.
No.
I was like,
no,
wow, Dom,
no.
That's a take. Like, okay.
No.
And even then, I don't think that was bad. But I could see, like, if you're trying to run a 1980s Transformer game, and then people think you're running a Michael Bay Transformer game, that would be like trying to run a Scooby-Doo game, and they think you're going to run a James Gunn live-action Scooby-Doo game.
Yeah.
Okay. I can kind of see that. Or God forbid, you're trying to run a Ninja Turtles game, and they think you're running the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. Wow, that would be really bad.
And Michael Bay.
All right, you should probably have a questionnaire then for your players. That's like, tell me what does
Transformers mean to you?
Yeah, what does Transformers mean to me? What is your favorite memory of Optimus Prime? like you should run them through and then throw everyone that doesn't meet your criteria in the trash. But then again, since there's only 9 unfulfilled Transformers games in the world right now, maybe you can't be that picky.
Yeah.
Are you the only? I don't mean to make this whole thing about Cadenex. Cadenex, are you the only person that likes Transformers in the whole world? Like, I don't understand. Like, where are all the Transformers games? There have to be Transformers. Now I'm obsessed. Transformers, TTRPG groups.
When you went on Strock's Plan, there was a lot more Cyberpunk games than I remember. So let me look at them again.
Yeah, this might be a good opportunity to break your resolutions.
Yeah.
Let's see. Transformers, TTRPG groups, Renegade Games, unboxing review. This is how do they sell? How are they selling product if no one's playing the game? Do you guys just hold the books and hope that someday someone will play? This is nuts. I'm mad now. I don't like Transformers enough, nor do I know enough about the lore to ever run a Transformers game. So no one get excited. That's never going to happen. That's like, I'm never going to run another Star Wars game, ever again. Even with Disney pooping all over the lore, I'm not even going to touch that stuff. I'm not even going to get involved. You can't if you pick a thing, so we all just own the book. Oh, buddy. That is so sad. All right. What if you took the Taliesin approach? You know Taliesin from Critical Role? So, dude's so rich, right? Dude's so rich. We don't talk about how rich he is, but dude's so rich. As a kid, he didn't like some of the dubs of his favorite animes, so he just as a teenager, hired professional voice actors to redub his favorite. And that's how he met all of the voice acting community and got into voice acting. Is he hired voice actors as a teenager to come in and make fan dubs of his favorite animes because he didn't like the quality of the dubs. Wow. So Cadenex, you could hire players for your... Do it. Hire professional players. And now you can play Transformers. And you got to stream it. Oh, wow. This is great. Oh my God. I've got it. So Transformers has always been a little spicy, a little romantic, right? What if you hire OnlyFans models? Transformers After Dark.
There was a GM that was one of those GMs that was grabbing just streamers from everywhere and in their campaign. And I remember there was one group. I think it was a bunch of VTubers and OnlyFans girls that were inside of one campaign. And I think that was the one that blew up the most.
I don't know how this isn't happening so far. Like, you have everything. You have all the resources. You have a VTuber avatar. You have a sexy voice. You know everything about Transformers. Where's my celebrity Transformers streaming series? You're letting me down right now. I'm starting the clock right now. 8:05 p.m. on March 28th is when Cadenex started letting me down by not having a celebrity Transformers TTRPG stream. I need to see that change.
The Monday one.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, we got a little off track here at the end, but the point is, Matt Colville is very wise, and his video resonated with me really strongly and made me acknowledge how lucky I am to have so many players that are awesome, and then so many awesome players who are running games, so many that I would not even try to sign up for them because there's too many games. But to think about the fact that throughout my 30 plus years of TTRPG, I have always been fortunate enough to have players that wanted to learn the craft, that wanted to step in and run some games, and that I got to experience that, and I got to be a part of that. And I feel sad if you don't have that, and I do think that you have options. Option 1, start communicating with your players. Option 2, start communicating with your DM. Both ways, you're going to find out maybe that the GM does need a little break. Maybe the GM doesn't even know they need a little break. You're going to find out that GMing is not as easy as you thought, but you might also find out that you love it, and now you have a new hobby. And if nobody wants to GM, but the GM still needs to be a player, head over to #NotSponsored, start playing games, and then all of you can sign up for a game together so that your GM can finally be a player with his friend group. Boom, we solved every single problem tonight. Every single problem.
Yep.
And we even solved Cadenex's Transformers problem. Sort of.
Yep, sort of.
Sort of. And we might have solved Dom's problem with Cyberpunk. Does anyone else have any problems?
Or made a problem for me.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do this. I'm closing this. I'm closing this window.
He's pouring the bottle down the toilet right now. He's pouring the bottle down the toilet. Let's see. All right, no one else has any problems. Good. Whew. All right, let's end it while the chat's quiet. All right, we'll be back in a month to, I guess, open or talk about the start of DirkCon 2025. If you are unaware, one of the coolest people I've ever met and one of my favorite players recently got a terrible diagnosis, ALS. He's on borrowed time, and we want to make that time as special and fun and memorable as possible. So, rather than be super sad about it, we're going to just have fun and play games and celebrate community, celebrate Dirk, and have a good time. So, the first weekend of May, that Friday, that Saturday, and that Sunday, we're going to be running a ton of games on our Discord server. They're all going to be free to sign up for. First come, first serve. Obviously, priority seating goes to a certain somebody. But if you are interested in running any games that weekend, participating in any games, we're going to do any system. We're going to play video games. We're going to play board games. We're going to play card games. We're going to play Magic, all that stuff. If you are in any way interested in being a part of that, figure out how to join our Discord. And let us know. If you want to help raise money and awareness for ALS and ALS-centric charities and organizations and research programs, that is amazing too. Please message me on Discord. It's just CRASHDOM. Please be a part of this amazing event that we're going to do. And that's it for a month, right? Unless you do like a dom with guest. Ooh, I kind of like that.
Dom.
Well, I mean, like if you do a vodcast without me, instead of being CRASHDOM, it could just be dom. Nah, that doesn't.
Who knows? Maybe we'll look. I don't know. Maybe I'll have my Fridays.
Well, Leah and Darby are starting a podcast. You could just be a guest on their podcast next month.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have a Darby Muffin over there. So
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, I hope everybody has a great weekend. We have Kingmaker on Sunday. And I think I've got Stolen Fate on Monday and Skyhaven on Thursday, and that might be it. I think there's one more Stolen Fate, and then I'm done with games in April.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other games on our server are still going, and I don't think there's any interruption of service.
Yep.
All right, cool. Then hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Alrighty, take care.